Hello and welcome to the Healthy Menu Podcast. I'm Kern and I'm your host. In this episode, we were joined by Chef Luciano Schipano, head chef of Nova Ristorante and founder of Culinarium, an event and kitchen space based in Toronto. He spoke with Sonia Couto, founder of Menusano, on online nutrition analysis and recipe costing software. Born in Canada and raised in Italy, Luciano Schipano has always been food's #1 fan. Instead of spending his childhood biking around his neighborhood and playing with his friends, he chose to master the art of cooking. Since childhood, he has been learning about the intricacies of flavors and the nutritional value of food. Luciano and Sonia spoke about Culinarium, taking care of his guests' health with the food that he makes, and the benefits and features of Menusano, and much more. This conversation was taken from an Instagram Live recorded in August 2020.
Sonia,
hi.
how are you? Can I adjust the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. I first of all, thank you so much for inviting and having me today. I'm very excited all the time to talk about Menusano and talk to you.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time since we actually spoke. It's been a while.
It's been a while, but it seems that it seems that yesterday because
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so let me just do like a quick introduction for the people joining us so they sort of have an idea of what we're doing here. So welcome to the Menusano Live. It's been a little while since we've had a live one, and that's because we were trying to bring a professional chef online to sort of talk about all the things that are happening during COVID-19. And I am so excited to have Chef Luciano on board with us today. I've known him for a couple of years. We've worked together in the past when we started launching Menusano. And he is one of the only chefs I know that not only is passionate about food, but also very passionate about nutrition. And he has a genuine care for the type of foods that he cooks and what he provides to his not customers, not clients, but your guests is your thing, right? Yeah. See, I remembered. So we're going to have a very candid conversation. Obviously, this is live, and I don't have a list of questions for you because I figured we just go back and forth and just, see where it goes and roll with it and just, have a very candid conversation about food, nutrition, sort of, I want to start off by sort of knowing, I follow you on social media, so I know you've been like doing a million different things, while everyone has sort of like been stopped a little bit. You've like been launching all of these new companies and doing all this stuff. So welcome. Why don't you give us like a little introduction about yourself and tell me what you've been up to?
Well, welcome at Culinarium. This is my last job, my last project. Culinarium is the last baby that I'm launching this month. Is actually this week is the first week we run an event. And you know what? First, Culinarium is a kitchen studio. It's an event space. It's located on Western Eglinton. We are in the middle of North York and downtown, and is just nearby the Eglinton new subway station. And we want to fill a little bit the gap. That everybody has to go downtown for a class or Woodbridge, Vaughan for another class. So we want to kind of be in the middle and start the sparkle. It doesn't have to be an Italian culinary studio. I'm Italian, I'm proud Italian. But
oh, yes, you are.
I do. And as a chef, I have to care about food, not about the Italian food. So this is how I really love Menusano, and we get along on this because food is universal. It belongs to the old type of cultures, community, and has the power to bind people together. And as a chef, I'm a personal chef here in Toronto. I travel a lot. In 10 days, I did 1,100 kilometers this week.
Wow.
And this is what makes me happy. I deliver the experience. And that is the power of food that allows people to get together. No matter what, COVID or not COVID, people, they must eat. And that is very important. For me, it's a mission. It's an accomplished of what is it's like a doctor has to heal the illness. As a chefs, we have to nourish people. It's not just cooking for people or give them food. So I'm a personal chef who moved here in Toronto 9 years ago. In the last 6 years, I'm working on my own as a consultant, as a private chef, and this last project, as you mentioned, and you can see at my back, culinarium studio called the Culinarium, and the website is culinarium.to.
Awesome. So I know that like you know, food is a huge passion for you. And I remember in one of our past conversations, you mentioned something that I found very interesting. And I was wondering if you could sort of elaborate on it a little bit more. And that was, you and I sat down and you were telling me, you know, there are times of season when particular foods are available. And so you sort of create your menus based on, you know, in the summer, people eat more salads. In the winter, people eat a little bit more, you know, soups and things like that. And sort of you try to serve
Exactly.
your food according to the seasons. Can you tell us a little bit more about that process that you go through?
That is a very important question, and thank you, Sonia, for that, because my education comes from Europe. I got my diploma in culinary arts in Italy, outside of my bachelor and master degree. The education system is completely different.
Right.
We have a great college. I really love the great job that our college is doing in culinary art, but they are missing few things. We are educated on doing a seasonal menu. We are educated on nutrition. So as a chef, before granting my diploma, I have 5 years of science, chemicals, food, and science of nutrition. So I have to understand what food I'm cooking and what Mother Nature also gives me. Thank you, Mother Nature, to give me so much food available during 12 months. We don't eat tomatoes every day. And in North America, because we are in a very fast-paced country, we don't have time to think about the season. We just eat the food that we like, and we ended up to get sick. And that is another point that I want to say. Our body is not meant to get sick. Our body is meant to heal. It's when you get a wound, you get a cut your finger, heals himself. Why? Because our body is meant to heal himself, not to get sick. And that is the same with food. You are the food that you eat. If you eat good food, you get healthy. And our grandparents, they told us, eat seasonal, eat organic, which, what is organic? We used to have organic. It's normal to have organic food. There is no difference between an organic and a pesticide, right, Monsanto vegetable or produce. So for me, seasonal, it has a lot of sense. People here in North America, with a lot of respect, they only think about what is Thanksgiving and fall season, and then the rest of 11 months.
That's true.
That's why for me it's very important to introduce in every menu, in every is a restaurant menu, is a private dinner menu, trying to go according to the season, the Mother Nature, what locally is available. Because I'm also president of Slow Foods Toronto, and I represent a lot of producers and farmers. They do an amazing job. They bring to us wherever is kilometer zero, so it's just next door. And when you buy a food that is local, you spend $1 just nearby you. You don't spend $1 that goes to the United States or to the big corporation. This is another thing that I really want to stress and invite everyone to buy locally, to buy Canadian, and to buy from your next door farmer. Go to the farmer's market. I see sometimes farmers markets are empty, and these farmers are struggling to get clients. Did an amazing job on cheese, on fruit, vegetables, eggs. It is very important for me. Okay, that's why I really thank Luciano for the great job that you're doing in developing, this software, this program that is amazing. All chefs, they should have one in their kitchen.
So just a follow-up question to that. So, you were taught culinary arts in Europe. Then you come over to North America, and you now have this challenge where ingredients that are provided to you are different than the ones in Europe. How do you change and adapt to the way culinary arts is done in North America or in Canada versus the way you used to cook in Europe? Have you had to make changes to your cooking style, or have you tried to adapt the same style in Europe with some of the ingredients here?
Exactly. Well, I had two big issues when I moved here in Canada. The first issue was measurement, and because we measure in grams,
Yeah.
or my grandma just say, okay, put some of this, some of that, so we don't have really a recipe. And here we need to have a recipe. So that was the first issue. But the second was we don't have. So it's like people want to eat rapini all year long, and I'm not used to that. So I had to learn where I can source now all this product. And many of these products, especially now, they come frozen, right? Think about par-baked bread. We don't have a par-baked bread in Europe. You go to your next door bakery and you order and buy bread every day. Bread is fresh. It's made with a lievito madre, with the mother sourdough, right? And it's different the concept. Here no, because we are so busy, we don't have time to go and shop around. So even the chef is losing a little bit, the meaning of being a chef. Because I imagine a chef that goes every morning, as I do every day or every weekend when I can, go shop around, go in the farmer's market, say hello. Hi, John, what do you have today? Hi, Maria, how are you? What did you cook this week? Oh, did you bring my bread? So you call them by names. And we're missing this. And I believe there's going to be a big change now with the COVID-19 because we are going back now. And that somehow we are probably going to be a little bit more considerate. We're going to have a little bit more appreciation and slow down even on what type of food and menu that we need. Even though people, they order a lot of takeout, still they need to eat. The thing is, the big corporation, they try to break down your cost. So what they want to do is a big corporation say, listen, buy bread from me because it costs you 15 cents. And of course, they don't have the sensitivity about the little bakery, right? And say, oh, that bakery does a bread every day. No, because everyone wants to save money. It's a circle, and we need to kind of to reverse that circle. So for me, it has been very hard to adapt. And the third problem was my food has not good fit in North America. Because I think about extra virgin olive oil. We eat extra virgin olive oil raw. We can get even a spoon, and we can get extra virgin olive oil. We're so used to that. But for American, and I say no American with a lot of pardons to everybody, as a North American people, not as American because we are Canadian and I'm proud Canadian. Don't touch Canada, right? But I say American as a North American, okay, citizens. We are so used to have a margarine and butter that olive oil is too strong for us.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to adapt our cuisines. And many chefs, they have problems that they cannot cook straight Italian food. I do. That's why my clientele loves me so much, because I bring the authenticity. I don't compromise on the quality, on the ingredients and food. Mm-hmm. So this is the other thing. So a lot of the recipes, it has been adapted, and they lose their identity. And food and language are two main elements of your culture. It's very important to speak your language and to eat your food.
Wow, that's very insightful. I mean, I knew you were passionate about food, but this takes it to a whole new level. So, one of the things I remember we had discussed, and I thought it was really cool. You're just obviously this awesome chef, but you have all these things that you really care about when it comes to nutrition, which is very odd for a chef. It's not something that I encounter every day. So tell me a little bit about like, why do you feel responsible for people's health versus a lot of other chefs who just cook based on cooking sexy looking dishes, delicious dishes, but you actually care about like what you're putting in people's bodies based on the conversations we've had in the past. Why do you care so much?
For two reasons. First of all, is we grew up with the thing that you have to eat good food to raise strong and healthy. So manja,
Right.
that is the main thing. You must eat. Because food gives you energy, gives you the vitamins that you need. And I believe so. Believe it or not, I don't take any supplement. Okay? And my doctor says, I have no idea what you do, but your blood test is perfect all the time. The only vitamin that I get is a vitamin D because we don't have enough sun here in Canada. And that's it. So you eat good food, you get good energy, good vitamins. That is the trick. You don't need to spend extra money for supplements and make corporation richer and richer and richer. So I believe that when you cook food, people, they don't just have to, let me use that word, to fill up a sack, a bag. Okay? It's not a need, a biological need. It's an experience. You eat with your palate. You eat with your eyes. So food has a need, it must have the ability to talk to you and tell you something. I don't want to be romantic, but
you are. You're being a little romantic.
Well, I always make good food, pretty in the mouth, but inside, right? But I really care a lot when I do a menu. I have to make sure they get the good amount of protein, fibers, starch. And if they start having said, okay, I'm gonna have pasta, and then I build a menu, I said, okay, you want a steak and potato. I'm sorry, I won't cook potato because you already have pasta. So then you double your carbohydrate. And that is extra calories. But people don't think about that. So that's why when people eat my food, say, oh, Luciano, I feel so light. I'm not feeling heavy. The food was amazing. I was able to finish everything. Of course, because it's balanced. And this comes from my education, from my passion. And, and that's why, again, I want to go back to Menuzano. Menuzano has the tools for chefs to balance their menu. For entrepreneurs, they want to control the cost of the ingredients and the nutrients they give to the customers. Because sometimes when we invent a recipe, Sonia, we don't think about the nutrition. We just think about how the recipe tastes, how the results of this recipe. So you start cooking, you add a little bit of here, then you fail, okay, let's redo it. And then you take here, you take in there, until you don't get the flavor, the taste that you want. Then what do? And I always do this example. Put all these ingredients on Menuzano and check it out how the percentage of salt, fat, proteins, sugar, and you see this, oh my God, I have a 63% sodium. Well, it tastes good, but there is a lot of salt. So you probably, with Menuzano, you can understand that you have to reduce your saltiness. And what I do, I add some herb, like rosemary or sage, whatever herbs is available, they can cover the saltiness, the extra saltiness. So that's why I really happy to use Menuzano in my job and to know about Menuzano, the great job that you do, and all chefs, again, they should sign up for Menuzano and use this platform.
So, I mean, you bring up a really good point. So, you don't actually learn nutrition when you're in culinary school, and that's something that you sort of took it upon yourself to learn and go through. What do you think is wrong with our education system for the people that are preparing the food that I go out and eat, and what are the changes that you think should happen in the future?
Well, first of all, I believe they should not focus so much on a food cost, because that's where the college, they stress so much with chefs. They just bomb them about food cost, and then they are not ready to go in a kitchen and work. They don't understand about products. And I probably am going to get a lot of enemies today, but I'm straightforward. I represent the Italian Chef Association of Canada. I'm the director of the association. I'm taking care about my association. But they don't really train our students. I see young chefs, and I'm a big supporter of young chefs. I contribute even monetarily with their association, with the Federation of the Canadian Young Chefs, but they don't get enough training. So they should get, first of all, nutrition as part of the curriculum, because they need to understand what food they cook, what is a real protein and what is not. Because we're talking today about vegan food, but vegan food is the worst food you may eat because it's just processed. Okay, it has a worst processed food. You know, people said, "Oh, I'm eating texture protein. It's coming from soy." Well, to get that end product, there is a long process. It's better for you to eat just beans, as my grandmother. Eat lentils, eat chickpeas. So, you know, young chefs, they don't have that type of education. And this is very bad. Even for professor, they work in this college. They should be a little more sensitive and talk about nutritions, and good food. And it's not, again, no stressing on the food cost or just like how you sanitize or you buy your knives. You need to buy a nice bag of knives. We don't care about this in Italy. You just need one butcher knife and one big knife to chop, and that's it, right? We never buy a 1,000 euro knife. As long as a knife is good, you spend $100 for a knife. I still have a knife that I pay $100. Okay, it's 7 years that it works like brand new. So, you know, slow down, chefs. You know, go back to the kitchen, go back to the basic. That is very important. Stop with this cooking show, watching Top Chef Canada. Please go back in our kitchens. We need chefs that cook for people. That is the main thing. So I'm just a little walnut in a big basket. I don't make so much noise.
Well, I mean, I love that. I love that because, I mean, we live in a world where disease is at its highest. It's at the highest it's ever been. Diabetes is a global epidemic. Cancer's on the rise, blood pressure, heart disease, and, you know, and everyone's saying you are what you eat. But, you know, as a consumer, I trust that when I go to a restaurant, which I go very often because I'm a busy person, I trust that the people that are cooking for me are sort of taking those things into account. But I think the problem in society is that, you know, the consumer has that trust factor with the restaurant and the staff, but really what's happening is the complete opposite. They're just making food, not taking into account sodium, sugar, carbohydrates, and all of those things. And we're just eating and eating and eating, and our bodies are, you know, an effect of all of this stuff that's happening, right? So at what point do we say, you know, enough is enough? You are responsible for us as your client, as your guest, right?
Exactly. So we need to have a judgment. It is very important, right? I know that a lot of restaurateurs are struggling to pay the expenses at the end of the month. But why you have to cook? Why you don't cook pasta fagioli? So beans and pasta is a simple food. We have eaten that food for decades and it was good. It's like, even, you know, we can really talk for hours on that. Trattoria. If you go in Italy, you find a trattoria. Trattoria is a very small restaurant, probably 10, 15 seats, run by a grandma or an old lady that she comes out with an apron and say, you know what, I cooked this today for you. If you want, that is on the menu. You sit, you eat the best food ever. It's not expensive. You probably with 10 euro, you have the best lunch ever in your life. And then you come here in Toronto and you found a trattoria. I can name it, I won't, but you found a trattoria that a plate of pasta costs $20. Excuse me, I don't accept that. It's something that is way over my expectation. And as a chef, I feel upset. And as a consumer, I'm angry because everybody is struggling out there for food, and we charge $20 for a plate of pasta.
Right.
And we get the excuses of the food cost. We get excuses about all the things that, oh, well, the rent. Sorry, landlords, you are bad because you charge a lot of money. You said, oh, you want to open downtown? You have to pay $50,000 per month. And then these people, what do? They bankrupt. Why we don't work together? We put a little bit more lawyer, everything, and we enjoy. So it's and then when you say it about two points I want to do that. So you talk about we are what we eat. I always say that, right? Read the labels. Because when you buy this protein bar, I just get that because I get so upset with this protein bar. So people, they go work out, they get this protein bar, right? So they say on the outside, say 6 gram protein. Good. What about the rest?
Right.
Oh, you read a very small, says 40 grams sugar. Come on, you're getting 40 grams sugar. It's not even keto. They said, oh yeah, I'm eating a keto. What, guys, you know, it's ridiculous. There is no control on labeling.
Right.
So people are every day are tricked. Every day they buy stuff, they're poisoning their body. There is an amount, a huge amount of sugar intake, a sugar added in all processed food. That's why I say, people call me and say, Chef or Luciano, what can I eat tonight? Stay home, eat at home, cook something at home. It's good for your pocket. It's good for your health. It is a social practice. Distress yourself. You
Right.
can cook with your wife, with your friends. You have fun. You socialize. You can share the experience. Or call Luciano. He's a private chef. I can cook for you. But you understand what you mean? What I mean? There is a very, very big disinformation. And our kids in our school, I've been in the school system for a while. I've seen these kids eat garbage, junk food. They eat garbage.
Yeah.
And they are our kids. Come on, make a toast, put some butter, olive oil, slice some ham, something that can real food. You don't have time. You make up your time.
Right.
That's
right.
when people say, "Oh, I don't have time." Well, you had time to go to the esthetician, to the massage, to do all your things, but you didn't find time to cook. Our mothers, right, Sonia? They cook for us.
Oh yeah, every day.
Every day, right? How come we don't have time?
Yeah.
So
Society has changed dramatically, right? And we're just used to it.
Yes. So this is something that I'm very passionate, and every time that I have the opportunity to talk to people, I always give this recommendation. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. It's a very, I've been also food ambassador for Jamie Oliver. So
I was just going to bring that up. I was just going to say,
okay.
I love that, like, you're talking about this and you're passionate, but you don't just talk about things. So you are an ambassador with Jamie Oliver Food Revolution Movement. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, when I started doing this, I didn't know who James Oliver was. So we were probably two James Oliver in two different parts of the world. So when I came here in Canada, I was browsing on the internet, and I found this James Oliver program, and said, you know what, I want to send an email. I said, hi buddy, I do the same thing that you do, and I want to help you here in Toronto. So Jamie Oliver loved the energy and the vibe that I have, and I put in that. So I joined his program as an ambassador. I represent the York region and part of Toronto. But unfortunately now the program as ambassador is gone. Jamie Oliver has closed his association, but I will always be an ambassador for good food and good habits, because I really want everybody to eat good, to stay good, and it's very important. Okay, so when you mentioned that the cancer thing, I really stress on that. You must eat good food, guys. That is something that if you haven't done so far, go and do it now. You always need to have vegetables and fruit every day in your diet. It's not just a matter of pasta, pizza, and potato. And chicken, right? It's something that there is so much food out there that you may eat, enjoy, and taste good. Don't eat always the same food. It's so boring, right?
Yeah. So I'm just, we've been into this conversation, and I feel like we could talk about this for hours. So we should probably do another live together. But
We can.
yeah, we will. But before we wrap up, I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about, I know that like you're super passionate about food, and I just wanted to get your opinion sort of on how you feel about the legislation where when you go to a restaurant, you can see calories on the menu. What is your take on that? I mean, like, I know you're so passionate about so many different things. I'm really interested to know sort of what your take is on that.
I believe that is a good to have information. I believe that we need to educate our consumer. I think that we need to inform our client about what food we eat and what it comes with the food. So having the calories on the menu, I believe, is a great information if delivered in the right way. Because we don't say, okay, you get 300 calories, good, but these calories, where they come from? They come from carbs, proteins, or fibers. So we need also to add the other side of the information. So we don't just deliver a marketing product, but I believe the more people are educated, the better, because they will know what food to choose, to order, to eat. It's like our kids, right? We need to train everyone to that.
And do you think that with the information now being provided, do you think it's changing the consumer mentality? And do you think that they are getting a little bit more educated about, calories and food?
I believe so. What happened is that probably people, they will think twice, because there is always this conception of, oh, how many calories do you take every day? Yes, okay, 2,000 calories. So people, they start reading the calories, and they become hesitant on ordering some foods.
Right.
But what I recommend to chefs, and that's why Menusano help us on this, is reduce the portion. If you think that calories shows is 700 calories, instead to give 8 ounces pasta, give 6 ounces pasta. So the 6 ounces pasta is going to drop the calories, and of course it's going to drop the food cost, and you keep the same price. So we need to work together in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I totally want to do another live with you. I mean, we can talk about so many different things, and I love having you on. I just don't want the Instagram live to cut us, because that's happened to me before. So thank you so much for coming on, Luciano. It's always so nice to see you. You have an overwhelming amount of information and depth. It's so great to talk to you and learn so much. And I love the fact that you're bringing this completely different point of view, of a chef's point of view. Usually, the people that are sort of caring about these type of things are, the restaurant owners and, the nutritionists, the dietitians. But it's so refreshing to see, a chef that's passionate about food, not just nutrition, but you're passionate about food. You're passionate about providing things for people that is not just going to be delicious, but it's also going to be good for them. And I think that's amazing. And you're doing an amazing job. And I can't wait to have you on again, and we'll continue our conversation. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know anything about Luciano, please check out his website. It's Luciano, I think I'm butchering your name, but Schipano.com, and we will put his link on our websites. For those of you who don't know, he has an amazing program where he will come to your home if you're having a party or guests, and he will cook right in your kitchen. He'll bring all the ingredients. He does an amazing presentation. I saw that big one that you did the other day with the big plate in the middle of the living room, and I'm like, whoa, there's so much food. And I saw, of course, I always look at the ingredients that you have, and you just have this amazing service, and now you have this education program that you're doing, and like my hat goes off to you and everything that you're doing. It's so amazing, and it was so great to have you on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for having me. And everyone who has any question, they can, connect privately, DM, and I'd be very happy to answer all your questions.
Awesome. So I'll be in touch with you. We'll do this again, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
So that was the episode. If you enjoyed that and you want to know more about what we discussed, we've left some links around the talking points in the description of this podcast. And you can also find more information on the Menusano blog, which you can also find in the description of this podcast. Don't forget, you can find us across a number of platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Again, the links are in the description. Thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts.